A big slap in the face for the French government as the country's constitutional council has ruled that named yellow vest protesters can't be banned from taking part in the continued demonstrations. The council, the last word on this, said plans to give the power to authority would give officials excessive latitude.
The provisions leave the authorities too much leeway in assessing of the reasons that may justify the ban.
So-called anti-breakers law was passed here in France as part of measures to try and control the weekly protests that have rocked the country. Protests that often disintegrate into rioting and fierce clashes with the police. So much so that some cities have banned them. Streets destroyed, buildings set alight, cars and motorcycles torched. The damage has cost some 200 million euros to the French economy, with businesses tearing their hair out. Even French banks waded into the debate, calling for an end.
For more than 4 months, hundreds of local branches that are essential links in local life have been targeted, vandalised, pillaged and burned, and bank offices physically threatened. It is time for everyone to condemn acts committed against the bank. We must quickly put a stop to this unbridled and unjustified violence.
And it's not just the destruction of towns and cities that has made the headlines. Since November 17th, thousands of people have been injured, some suffering life-changing injuries. But while some protesters may see this decision by the Constitutional Council as a win, it's not all music to their ears. The Council have upheld other controversial elements of the anti-breakers law, meaning that more severe penalties for organisers of unauthorised demonstrations and for those who cover their faces during violent protests. While police now have the right to search individuals and vehicles near demonstrations in a bid to prevent objects being brought in that could be used as weapons. Charlotte Dubinsky, RT, Paris.
The Yellow Vest movement began last November, driven by rising fuel prices and decline in living standards. Philosopher Slavoj Žižek says the protesters' aims are too vague to succeed.
Let's not fall into this trap of seeking for some ultimate wisdom in so-called ordinary people. Yes, they protest, but their protests are, how should I put it, free-floating, confused, contradictory, and it's totally open who will appropriate them. We should never forget that the space for this type of populism was opened up by what ordinary people perceived and still perceive as the failure of the technocratic liberal establishment.